how much money would I have to offer you cash on the spot to walk away from your job? Yeah, I saw somebody out in the lobby watching the show. He got a big old smile on his face. He was like, I got a number, baby. I got a number, Ken. You give me this cash, I'm out. All right, it's a fun question. Okay. And then here's a follow-up question. And I really want you to have this question with some people. If I walked up to you on the street and I had X amount of dollars, and the deal was if I give it to you, you have to quit your job. You're done. And you walk away. Now, you have finite amount of cash, okay? And some of you are going to throw some crazy number out, okay? And I think that speaks to who you are and what's going on with this idea of walking away. Some of you got a much lower number. Well, this actually happened. There's a rapper by the name of Kevin Gates. I don't know his music. That may shock you. I've not heard his music. I am going to check his music out. So apparently, over the last decade, he has made himself a rap star, and I admire him for that. Even though I don't know his music, I like Kevin already because he started out as a regional rapper, and now he's a big deal. And not only do you have hit songs, apparently he breaks the internet, according to this MSN article. Pretty popular on YouTube and probably all the socials because he goes around and he does a lot of generous things and a lot of different things. He asks lots of questions, and it just gets a lot of clicks and a lot of views. So recently, he shows up to a Chick-fil-A, and I want you to watch what happened, and we're going to break this down in context to what's happening here and why did it happen the way it happened, and how does this affect your mentality about work? A lot to unpack. Here's the video. Watch this.
If I give you this, would you quit your job?
What?
Would you quit your job if I give you this? It's $20,000.
I don't know.
Think about it.
30?
30.
Would you quit for 30?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. What about another one?
What about 40?
40.
It's hard.
What about 40? What about 45?
45? For like the whole, like, for my entire life?
No,
Just for today.
just quit Chick-fil-A. You get another job.
Okay, so they obviously have a little fun with it, and she doesn't take the money on the spot. Okay, now I don't know if she goes and talks to her manager and runs the what ifs, but I want you to watch the progression because this is interesting to me. So this is a young person. By just looking at her, I'm going to presume to say she's in her teens, certainly early 20s. Is that fair, Alex? I mean, the video is kind of grainy. Okay, so this is a young lady. And she goes to the drive-thru window, and she is serving this guy his food. And can I say he looks like a rapper? I mean, I don't look like a rapper, do I? I don't look like a rapper. The guy looks like a rapper. That doesn't make anything. But is he serious? He's got a wad of $20,000 he shows her. And she's like, whoa, wait a second. Is this guy punking me is what I'm thinking that she's thinking at first. Is he really going to give me $20,000? Now, forget that he looks like a rapper. Even if he's an old grandpa, don't you have some questions about somebody offering you 20 in cash? But folks, I'm just keeping it real here. Anybody under the age of 70, I think, you go, where'd you get that cash? If it's an old grandpa, I think just because they're old, you kind of go, well, that doesn't feel like they got that cash in any nefarious way. But I think at first she's kind of like, are you for real, man? Are you making fun of me? This is a cool looking dude, right? Now, she doesn't know he's a rapper, but let me tell you what he looks like. He doesn't look like me. He looks cool. Like he's got to look like this dude's a player. He's got the tats, the hair dyed. I mean, the point is, you could easily see, and there's a phone video in this whole thing. So she's automatically going, is this for real? All right? I don't know what else she's thinking, but at the bare minimum, she's going, come on. Because he says, can I give you $20,000 to quit your job? And she goes, I don't know. This is a fun progression. He goes, how about 30? She goes, maybe, like she's still processing this. Stranger, a wad of cash. Okay. Then he goes to 40, and she says, man, this is so hard. Now, whatever she's thinking, I don't want to get inside of her mind, but she's going, man, this is hard. This dude's offering me $40,000 in cash to walk away from my Chick-fil-A job. Presumably $40,000 is extremely life-changing. $20,000 is very life-changing. So then he ups it one more time. How about 45? And then you can just tell she's not. And let me just tell you something. She's not sure what's happening here. Okay? It's not normal for a stranger to drive up in a drive-thru and have that amount of cash on them and then offer it to you to walk away. A lot of unknowns. Is this a joke? Where'd that money come from? Why are they videoing me? If I quit and I walk home with all this cash, how do I explain it to my mom and dad? Because at first, and by the way, the one thing I didn't mention is she also goes, is the $45,000 for life? Like she's trying to create an enormously outrageous scenario. He's like, no, I'm giving it to you right now. She's like, is it $45,000 every year of my life? She knows it's not. And the reason I show the video is because this is a rare and extreme situation. Now, he could have done that to another worker, another restaurant, could have done that 3 or 4 times that day, and maybe everybody but that young gal takes the money. But I think there's something deeper here than her. And by the way, I first wanted to explain, this video shows you the power of the unknown and how he's looking at the video. And by the way, there was a viral response to it. And one guy did a react video. He was like, how in the world do you not take $45,000 and go to your boss and go, look, this guy out here just offered me $45,000. I got to quit today, but I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm going to keep the 45 and then make 40 this year. That was the whole point of the video. And I think that makes sense, except for you're discounting the power of fear. And her fear was coming from, she didn't know enough about where the money was coming from, why she was getting it, how she was going to communicate it. Folks, that's why I wanted to show the video, because it looks like a no-brainer, but it isn't when we don't know. Now, had he said, hey, listen, I'm a big-time rapper that have a huge YouTube channel, and I do this stuff all the time. Check me out. And he shows her his phone, and she goes, oh, this guy's like a huge deal. He's legit. And he does this kind of crazy stuff all the time. And I'm on his YouTube channel. If I take this $45,000, I think she takes it. She doesn't know any of that. So understand the power of fear that holds us back from what seemingly is obvious. Now, I want to give you a sub point. This is also a young gal who is thinking, I do need a job. This job is good for me. If this thing backfires, I still need the job. And that leads me to, we saw in 2021, the beginning of what has been called the Great Resignation, where in just 1 year, 2021, we saw over 50 million people change jobs in 1 year. It was a record. It continued in 2022. So we're nearing 100 million people have left their job from 2021 through 2022, just this steady 4+ million people leaving their job. And there's some interesting data on the backside of this. 80% of workers who change jobs during that Great Resignation period regret leaving their job. And I will tell you that almost to a person, you can bet they left. One of the major reasons they left was a bigger paycheck. But on the backside of that bigger paycheck, they adjusted to it, and it wasn't the right fit. It wasn't the right environment, wasn't the right work, all of the things, and they regret it. So taking the cash up front does not guarantee a better life. Think about it.